Okay, yesterday I have covered about the web view controls, right? How to handle the, upload a file or profile pic, and how to input the data and how to handle the drop downs, and how to handle the checkbox and radio buttons and dynamic way as well using the math.random function. And we have to first get the length of the elements and passing the number here to the nth the function, and the data will be, the length will be automatically called. For example, it will be handling, for example, 0 to 10. It will return number for sometimes 5, sometimes 7, 9, like that. Based on the random number, it will pick the element and check on it. And hence, for the most random elements, we'll be using the math.floor, math.random. And to handle the alert box, we'll be using the page.on event listener. And after that, for models, we can directly handle. Only for alert boxes, we have to use the page.on dialog event listener. Okay, today I'll be starting, a few more scenarios where we are controls, how to handle the frames, how to handle the tabs. Okay. Yeah, coming to, frames are like, for example, like at, third-party components. For example, anyone want, the third-party clients want to inject the ads in our application, we will create a frames for them. Hope you guys are aware of the frames. For example, here is the frame, and we cannot directly interact with the frame. Hence, we have to switch to the frame. Then only we can interact with the frames.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like in an e-commerce site, when we integrate PayPal or any payment gateway, it will be in a form of iframe.
Right, exactly. Frames are, kind of like a components. Where we inject in the, it will be like in a single page, we can have multiple iframes. Hence, iframe 1, iframe 2, iframe 3, iframe 4, like that in a single page, e-commerce website or Amazon or eBay, or I will show one more example, which is iProperty. Ads. For example, like iProperty website want to, give a placeholder to the third-party ads, for example. Yeah. Mostly under iframe. Yeah, you can see it's a whole ad section. I have the iframe ID. We have the iframe ID. We can pick the iframe ID and switch to the iframe, and then only we can handle the child elements. And yeah, we can take the e-commerce as well. Similar example. Yeah, you can see all these ads. Okay, coming to demo, I'll be taking like because we cannot automate the direct production applications, so that's why I'm using the demo site. So, for example, all these elements are under iframe. You can see the HTML is here, and the hierarchy it starts from here. Iframe, we have the iframe ID, or we can take the other locators, and we have the HTML. And if you notice, here is the document under the iframe, and we have the HTML here, and we have the header here. Here we have to get the first we have to verify the content is visible or not, and then we can input the contents. Okay. As usual, we have to, the standard thumb rule is import the test and expect. From Playwright module, which is the Playwright test. Yeah, hooks are not mandatory every time. Directly, we can write the test case also using the test function. And as usual, we have to use the arrow function. I mean, async await arrow functions, and have to call the page instance. And directly we can call the keyword page dot go to the website, and yeah. To switch the frame locator, we have the frame locator function. First thing is we have to identify the ID. This is the ID. Hence, we have to use the page.frame locator, you can see, which is the default function. In Cypress, we don't have the default functions. We have to use third-party library, or we have to create a custom function. That is one of the downside of Cypress. But here we have the frame locator function. Then we have to call the child element reference, which is and the frame locator is ID. Hence, we have to use the hash. That's mandatory. And here we have the ID, which is the TinyMCE. Just pick the ID and pass it here, which is the child element reference. And then we can do the clear event to clear the input field, and fill. Okay. Yeah, in Playwright, we cannot do the chaining of events. After clear, the statement is completed. And second, we have to call the locator. Yeah, that is one of the downside. In Cypress, we can directly do the chaining of events. And here we have P means paragraph. We have to verify the content is updated or not. Let's make an assertion. And yeah, we have to use the expect and the locator. Here we have to use the and P. We are getting the paragraph, the continuation. We have function. In Playwright we have multiple functions to have attribute, to have CSS, to have class, to have count, ID, property, JavaScript property, length, and property. And here our use case is checking, verifying the text, to have the text comments. Okay, once again, I'll recap. The first thing is we have to open the website using the page.go-to, and using the frame locator, directly we can switch. We don't need to install any third-party library like Cypress. Here, just we need to pass the frame ID. First, we have to pass from here. Then we can switch to the child elements, and we can input the or verify the contents. You can see, here the mandatory rule is like first we have to clear. That's the best practice. Then we have to get the locator and fill the comments. Then we have to get the same locator, and to have the text. If you use page objects, we don't need to reuse the same locators. Later I'll be covering the framework design. Okay, now let's execute. Hence, we have to mention the spec file link, spec.ts, and let's execute headed mode, and project equal to Chromium. Yeah, you can see like I can put the and verify the content as well. If you want to check the report, or just we have to run the command, Playwright, show report. Yeah, you can see like we have input the comment, and here we have given the text should have the content text comments. Any questions on the iframes handling?
Thanks.
Yes, Purnima. Any questions, Dipesh or Purnima?
No.
No question from me.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. This is the standard way. I mean, just I'll show the documentation as well. Okay, you can see like a frame locator represents a view of the iframe on the page. It captures the logic sufficient to retrieve the iframe and locate elements in that iframe. Frame locator can be created with either page dot frame locator function, or we have the locator. We can do the chaining of events page dot or locator dot like that. Just we have to give the iframe ID, and then we can do the chaining of events. And the frame locators are strict. This means that all operations on frame locators will throw if more than one element matches a given selector. Yes, if you pass the same IDs, then it will throw the error. Hence, we have to get the specific locator ID with, related locators. For example, get by role by button, or here you can see throw if there are several iframes in the DOM. If they have the same iframe, then you have to use the indexing. And works because we explicitly tell locator to pick the first. You can see. So we have to use the indexing, first or last or nth function. And okay, converting locator to frame locator. If you have a locator, object pointing to an iframe, it can be converted to frame locator as well using the scope. Okay, if we can convert a direct locator to iframe as well using the scope. Scope, as a value. Yeah, that is pretty much about the frame locator. Okay. The next topic is about tabs handling. These are some of the standard use cases for web automation. Okay, you can see like if you want to switch to a tab, in Cypress very challenging, but here we have the bring to front function to directly switch to the tabs. Like a real simulation. Here we can click on it and switch to the tab and do the events on the tab and close the once finish all the events, close the tab and switch to the parent window. Or we call it as a parent window or default context. Yeah, tabs handling. We can name it as per our project requirement. Okay. Yeah, this is the standard skeleton template for the test case creation. Then, yeah, as usual, you have to go to. We are automating different scenarios, right? That's why I'm covering like different websites, but in real time, it will be one or two domains only. Hence, we don't need to pass the domain here as well. Everything should be coming from the config file. Later, I'll be covering. Or we can use the dot environment module as well. Dot environment is to maintain the environment variables. Okay, yeah, here the thing is like, okay, before what happened, directly we have given page.go2, right? Directly we are calling the open the page. But for tabs, it's a bit different. We have to create a context. For example, yeah, let's import Chromium and Firefox and WebKit. Yeah, we can import direct browsers in the spec file as well. Then we'll be calling the Chromium.launch. Yeah, I mean, for tabs, it's a bit different because we have to create a context first, and then let's create a variable context, and let's wait for the browser dot context. Yeah, it's not new page, new context. It's a function, that's why we're passing the parentheses. Okay, now we have to create a page instance, and wait, let's call the context dot new page. Hence, we are not calling the page instance directly. We are creating the steps, right? Browser context and the page. We can skip the page instance here. We don't need to define here because we are using the this page reference. Page equal to context dot new page. We are creating our own browser, our own context and a page. Before what happened? We are using directly the Playwright instance. Okay, then we are using the page dot. We have defined here, right? Page dot go to. And okay, we have to create a promise first. For that, I'm creating an array. And let's create a promise. I'll cover like why we have to find the promise. And all. Okay, the thing is like here I have given a promise. Means if you want to define one promise, we don't need to use all. But in the promise all, we can define multiple promises. For example, we can define the context, and we can give the condition, wait for the event, the page to load. Means that is a promise. Okay. Then we have to click on the tab. I mean the button, which will initiate the tab. Here is the ID. Hence we have to call the page.click, and directly you can pass the locator here. Okay. You can see why we have given, later we'll be calling the new page instance here. So first page instance is here. Then we have created one more new page. And in the new page, we have given promise.all. Means we are giving multiple promise in the block. It's an array. You can see square brackets means it's an array. And we are passing multiple arrays. First event is wait for event page. And page.click the button. Then we have to switch to the tab. Now we have to call the new page instance. And here we can use the, just for best practice, we have to use the standard wait events like wait for event, wait for function, or wait for load state, or wait for request, or wait for response. Request or response is for the API calls. Selector, if you are using for explicitly specific locator, you have to use the wait for selector. And wait for timeout is a static timeout, or URL. You can pass for the wait for URL as well. Let's give the wait for load state, the whole DOM to be loaded, DOM content loaded. And then now we have to switch to the bring to front. New page dot bring to front. Bring to front is a function to switch to tab. Means like once we click on it, it will bring to front. Means like to bring to the scope. Then we can verify the URL. For example, the URL should be demoqa.com. The path is sample. Now we are now we are referencing the new page, but not the initial page. Here we have the functions to have a URL. All these are predefined functions, so we have to check the URL. And if you want to verify the content, then we have to inspect here. And we have the title here, ID. Excuse me. Yeah, we have to do one more session. Hence, we have to call the new page. And the locator to have text. Okay, with that, we have switched to the tab and verifying the content. And how to close, I'll be covering soon. Once again, I'll recap. First thing is for tabs, we have to create the browser context. First, I have given, browser equal to wait chromium dot, here you can see chromium dot launch. If it is Firefox, then we have to initiate Firefox. If it is Safari, then we have to call webkit dot launch. Then create a context, browser dot new context, then create a page, context dot new page. First, we have created one page here, which is main window. You can say main window or parent window, and we have given page.goto, which is the main window. Then I have given promise.all, and wait for the event page to load, and the page.click means like I to click on the tab, and then we are switching to the new page. You can see here is the new page. Then I have given a condition, wait for the whole load state. Then bring to front. Bring to front means it will bring the tab to the scope. And then we are doing the assertion. Expect new page to have the URL, sample path, and the locator to have the text label. This is a sample page. Okay. After completion of the tab user events, we can call the new page dot close. Once we close the tab, we can switch to main window. And if you want to close the parent window also, then we have to call the page dot close. Okay, any questions so far?
Could you please help me understand what's the difference between the wait for load state and having wait for event within promise?
Okay, wait for event means, it will wait for the page. It won't check the DOM, just for the page is loaded or not. But for wait for load state means it will check the whole DOM to be loaded. For example, here is the whole DOM. It will check the whole DOM is loaded or not.
Yes, so within promise, if we want to check whether the page has been loaded and the whole DOM has been loaded, all these, then those events has to be called within the promise itself.
Okay. Yeah, because we have given context, right? That's why I have given the wait for event. Yeah, you can see. So wait for event is it will wait for the specific event page, but not for the whole DOM. And yeah.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, you can see. So it is an event, not a whole DOM. Specific event. Here we're waiting for the dialog event. Here we'll be waiting for the page event. Yeah, here we're waiting for the console, not for the whole DOM. So event means a specific event. Yeah, here we're waiting for the close model.
Okay.
Yeah, these are the specific events. We don't need to wait for the whole DOM. Why I have given, for example, here, for promise, I have given only the wait for event. But after clicking the tab, it will take certain time for the whole document, whole DOM to be loaded. That's why I have given as a best practice, wait for the load state. Here we can use, different properties. For example, load means just the page to be load, network ID. Sometimes the throttling will be happening. Then we have to use the network ID. But here our use case is the DOM content loaded. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's execute the tabs handling now. I'll show the demo. Yeah, you can see it open the main window. Click on. Yeah, it's very fast. Playwright is very fast. That's why it won't wait for a few seconds also. So just in 7.7 seconds, it's completed. Yeah, if you want to, for example, wait for specifically, which is a static wait, then we have to use the, okay, after clicking, let's you see, wait for timeout, which is a static wait. Which is not a good practice, but just for demo purpose. Yeah, you can see. So it will wait for static wait, which is wait for 5 seconds compulsory. Then close the tab and close the main window. Okay. Yeah, you can see all the events. Like here we have given the wait for timeout, which will wait for 5 seconds compulsory, then wait for the load state. That's why better to use the wait for load state instead of wait for timeout. And after load state completed, bring to front. Bring to front is the function to bring the tab to the onto the focus, and then we have given a session to have URL and to have the located text, which is expected. This is no mismatch, and yeah, after that we have closed the tab. Then close the. Sorry. Yeah, here we are using the new page. We close the tab and page dot close the main window. And after switching to main window, we can do the user events here and close. Okay, yeah, I will show the documentation then. Okay, it's a simple function, not much documentation. You can see it brings a page to a front, means it activates the tab. And the function is page.bring to front. That's a standard function. And in Cypress, we cannot switch to tab like this, which we done in the Playwright. Further, Cypress, we have to do few mimics in the DOM instead of opening a tab and handle it. That is one of the downside as well. And close is to, for example, if you want to close close the page with options like that. Yeah, defaults to false, whether you want to run before unload page handlers, you can pass the options as well. Okay. Yeah, that is pretty much about the tabs. Are very simple to handle. Yeah. Okay, the next event is, the next topic is about file download. Yesterday, I have covered the file upload, right? But for file download, we have to do few, tweaks. It's not straightforward, but we have to do few of the step configuration. Okay, let's assume. Yeah, you can say download objects are dispatched by the page.on event listener, and here the event is a download. Whenever excuse me, whenever I say event means it could be download event or a close event like that, or a dialog event. All the downloaded files belong to the browser context are deleted when the browser context is closed. And a download event is emitted once the download starts. The download path becomes available once the download completes. Okay, here we have to do few configuration. And what is the event here? Download. Before, what is the event there? Page. And for alerts, the event is dialog. Hence, we have given page.wait for the event download and store in a variable. Then we have called the page.get by text, the button to be clickable, and download equal to await for the download promise. That means it will wait for the download event to be completed. Then we have given the, download.path. I'll be covering the example soon. Okay. Yeah, this time directly you can call the page. Because we are not switching to the tab, right? Directly you can use the page record tool. Okay, the thing is like when we click on the it's opening our model. This is called a pop-up or model. Directly we can handle it, or we can use the page.on event listener as well. Okay. Here we cannot use the page.getPet text, which is a download sample PDF profile. Yeah, PDF file, excuse me, because the same labels are repeated. Yeah. Let's take the class reference here. Okay. Yeah, let's take the direct URL. Okay, here also we can create, for example, if we handling any pop-up, we can use the pop-up event listener as well, which is a page.on. And here the function is we are calling the pop-up. For just for safe side, like if any pop-ups trigger, it will close. Yeah, here it's not, await has no effect on the type of this expression. Here you can see the three dots, here you can delete, only we can pass that here. I mean, it's like a try catch exception. If any pop-ups or models appear, it will close. Then let's create a promise array. Again, we have to create a promise one, and we have to call multiple events. We have to call for the wait for event first, which is download. And then we have to click on the locator. Let's take the first index of first file. If you notice here, we are not using async await because I mean already we have given the await here, and promise means like it will apply to all the commands.
Will that execute sequentially, like one after another?
Sequentially, yes. I mean the first event will happen here, second event, third event, promise.
Okay.
If the promise not match, then it will throw the exception. We can take the first index.
So when should we use promise.all? When we have multiple.
Promise.all, if you want to define multiple promise in a single function. Usually, like all these async await are promise. I mean, for example,
Yeah,
we are using the promise
but
here.
we could have create like a separate function for each actions, right? Like first to download, first to wait, or something like.
I mean, like I mean, you mean reusable functions, like custom functions?
I mean, one function to do one action. So here is waiting for a download, then is clicking on the first element. But it's
Yeah,
fine.
I mean, because we are storing the promise in a download reference here. Later we'll be calling the download reference. The same thing happened here also, right? For the tabs, we have given a new page instance. The new page we are calling everywhere. If we
Okay.
define a single line, we have to duplicate the code.
Sure.
Yeah, because we are storing the whole promise in a variable reference new page. Here we are storing the whole promise in a variable reference download. I mean, later we'll be calling the download.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. No worries. Yeah. Then we have to call the function click. First dot click. Now the promise is completed and stored all the comments, the output in the variable reference download. Later we'll be calling the variable reference. Okay. Yeah. It will download automatically. It won't open a page. Okay. Yeah, I mean, let's assume like we don't need to manually download and we have to give a name, file name, and we have to call the reference here download, which is a download, and it will automatically suggest a file name. And we have to use the file path. I mean, where we want to download. For example, let's create a download folder. And pass the path here. And passing the file name. File name will be automatically suggested by Playwright from the website itself. It will pick the label here and add as a file name, and then we are storing in a file path and calling the download promise and save as a in the file path. Okay, we can do manually verify or automatically verify as well. I'll be covering soon. Okay, just a recap, like we have opened the page, and if any pop-up are visible, close the pop-up, which is the event listener. And here download is a promise. That's why we're using promise.all. Here we can define number of lines, and everything will be stored in a download reference. Then we are calling the download reference here. Calling the function suggested file name. Automatically Playwright will pick a name from the website and store in a variable. Then we are defining the file path. Should mandatory store in a downloads folder, and save the file path.
One question, Vinayak.
Yeah.
Actually, I think yesterday or sometime you mentioned Playwright will automatically close the pop-up, right? So will it close the pop-up whenever it opens automatically, or how it is?
No, Playwright won't close automatically. We have to close it manually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
wondering why we added a pop-up.close manually.
Manually,
Okay.
yeah, it won't close because we even though like manually also we have to do the user simulation, right? But sometimes Playwright, we don't need to use the event listener. Sometimes directly we can handle the models, but some cases, we have to specify which is the event listener pop-up, and then we have to manually close it. But it won't close automatically. No.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, you can see like we have directly opened the page, which is a sample PDF download. Yeah, now it should, you can see like there's a pop-up. Yeah, this time we have to manually close. We have to do the user simulation. Yeah, let's apply the pop-up. Yeah, which is expected. It waits for 30,000 milliseconds, which is 30 seconds. And after clicking, there's a pop-up. Yeah, manually we have to close it. Yeah, sometimes the event listener will close, or else we have to manually inspect the model, and then we have to close it. Yeah, somehow it's not closing. Usually on regular browsers, the pop-ups won't be visible, but Playwright will start every browser as a fresh instance, right? So yeah, you can see that on incognito, we'll see the models. Yeah, somehow the page.on event is not closing. It should work. Okay, you can see the events. These are called the events emitted when the page closes. Here using the close. For the pop-up, okay. For the console, and if any crash or if it's for the dialog, DOM content loaded, download. Yeah, we are using the, wait for the event, page.on, you know. Yeah, we can use the context.on page as well. Somehow, yeah, we have used the page.on, but somehow it's not closing. Okay, never mind, I'll debug later. For time being, let's manually close it. Using the allocator. The event listener is not working. We can manually close it. Okay, for safe side, I have given try catch. Once I get the locator, then click on it and catch the exception. If any exception, throw is to catch. Catch the exception through the new error, consonant error, model not close. Let's rerun. Actually, models can directly access. Yeah, it should interact with the model now. Yeah, this time it closes the model. We didn't switch to the model, and the PDF is downloaded now. Okay. The download use case will be different because it's a PDF file, right? Here we have to, excuse me. It won't automatically download. We have to manually simulate here. Click on it, and then only it will download. Yeah, it's not downloaded. Okay. Now it's like for PDF, it's a different use case, right? We have to manually download it. Let's take other Excel files, for example. Yeah, Excel files will be automatically downloaded. But for PDF, we have to still manually simulate. Yeah, we can see like a total 10 elements. That's why we're giving the first element. To click on handle the first element only. Okay, here we're facing the different module, which should be the same locator if I'm not mistaken. If not, we have to manually inspect. Yeah, should be try catch exception will do, or pop-up event listener should work. I'll cross check once again. If not, manually we have to close it. Yeah, it didn't close the pop-up. Okay, it is downloading in the system folder. Okay, we can do one thing here. get by text. We have the text function and directly pass the close or click. Now it should close the model. Yeah. Might be in lowercase. These models are a bit, it should directly interact somehow. If any label mismatch, then it won't close the power model. No, this time it close. Later I'll cover like dynamic way how to handle it. Like if any more pop-ups come, automatically it will close. Usually the page, the event listener should work, but somehow it's yeah. I'll debug later. Yeah, or else like let's wrap it up for today. I'll debug the pop-ups handling. Like there's a better mechanism to handle these pop-ups. The one thing is that directly we can handle if we know the locator. If not, we have to use the event listener or try catch. Try catch is a better option. If any pop-ups come, it will close automatically. Yeah. Any questions on today's session?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, Punwa. Let's catch up on Monday then. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Thank you. Thank you
Okay,
so
thank
much.
you.
Have a good day.
Good. Have a good day.
Good.